At 11:30 p.m., a teenage girl typed a message to her mother. "I'll be home in 45 minutes." It was casual, ordinary, the kind of text sent thousands of times a day by teenagers who expect to walk through their front door soon after. But Keely Rodney never came home. Her phone went silent just over an hour later. Her car vanished without leaving a trace. And for the next 2 weeks, helicopters, divers, and federal agents would search the wilderness, only to miss what a volunteer dive team would locate in less than an hour. What happened to Keely Rodney that night remains one of the most debated disappearances in recent memory. And even after her body was found, the mystery only deepened. Keely Rodney was 16 years old. She lived in Truckee, California, a quiet mountain town surrounded by pine forests, winding roads, and cold, dark lakes. It was the kind of place where people felt safe, where parents trusted that their kids could drive across town without fear. Friends described Keely as outgoing and independent. She worked part-time, loved spending time with friends, and had already graduated high school early. College was just around the corner. Her life felt like it was just beginning. She wasn't reckless, she wasn't naive, and she knew the area better than most. On August 5, 2022, Keely planned to attend a graduation send-off party at the Prosser family campground near Prosser Reservoir. The gathering was meant to be a final summer celebration before many students left town for college. It wasn't unusual, it wasn't secret, and no one thought it would end in tragedy. Keely drove herself to the party in her silver Honda CR-V, parking somewhere near the campground as hundreds of other cars arrived. By sunset, the forest was already filling with music, laughter, and the glow of headlights cutting through the trees. No one there knew it would be the last time they ever saw her alive. As darkness settled over Prosser Campground, the party grew larger and less controlled. More than 300 teenagers were reported to be in attendance. Alcohol was everywhere. Music echoed through the forest. People drifted from car to car, group to group. Witnesses later gave conflicting accounts of Keely's condition that night. Some said she seemed fine. Others believed she had been drinking. No one could agree on exactly when she left, or who she left with. At 11:30 p.m., Keely sent her mother a text. She said she'd be home in 45 minutes. Her tone didn't suggest fear. There was no panic, no request for help. But at 12:33 a.m., her phone pinged for the final time. After that, complete silence. By morning, Keely was gone. Her car was gone. There were no skid marks, no crash debris, no confirmed witnesses who saw her drive away. It was as if both Keely and her vehicle had been swallowed by the night. When Keely failed to return home, her family immediately knew something was wrong. Search efforts began almost instantly. Soon, the operation expanded into a multi-agency task force involving 18 local, state, and federal agencies. Over 19,000 man-hours were poured into the search. Helicopters scanned the forests. K-9 units tracked scent trails. Divers entered cold, murky water. Boats equipped with sonar swept the Prosser Reservoir again and again. The reservoir was less than a quarter-mile from the party. Logic suggested that if Keely had crashed, the car would be there. But nothing was found. Days passed, then a week, then more than 10 days. Despite exhaustive efforts, law enforcement announced they would scale back the search to a limited but continuous operation. To Keely's family, it felt like time was slipping away, and the silence only grew louder. As the official search slowed, confusion filled the gaps. Partygoers came forward with stories that didn't match. Some claimed Keely left alone. Others believed she planned to get a ride. Some said she was heavily intoxicated. Others said she wasn't. Then came one of the most bizarre claims of the case. A roadside assistance worker named Nick said that on August 7th, nearly 10 hours after Keely's phone last pinged, he encountered a girl he believed was Keely. She was with a man. She seemed confused. She asked how to fasten a seatbelt inside a car that didn't even have a dead battery. No physical evidence ever supported the claim. But the story spread rapidly. Online, theories exploded. Was Keely abducted? Was she trafficked? Did someone at the party know more than they were saying? Every unanswered question gave birth to another theory. And still, no car. With official resources scaled back, Keely's family turned to a volunteer group known for finding what others miss. Adventures with Purpose. The team specialized in underwater recovery, using high-end sonar equipment, and experienced divers trained to recognize subtle anomalies beneath the surface. On August 21st, they arrived at Prosser Reservoir. At 10:40 a.m., 2 sonar boats entered the water. Less than 45 minutes later, diver Nick Rinn noticed something strange on the sonar. A bright blur, a shape that didn't belong. The team launched a dive. What they found was Keely's silver Honda CR-V lying upside down, submerged in about 14 feet of water, only 55 feet from shore. Inside the vehicle were human remains. They were later confirmed to be Keely. After 16 days, she had finally been found. But the discovery raised more questions than answers. Keely was not in the driver's seat. She was found in the rear cargo area of the SUV. Adventures with Purpose immediately voiced suspicions. They pointed to a broken passenger side window, a rear window partially down, and the fact that Keely was familiar with the area. To reach the water, the car would have had to make a sharp left turn onto a rough dirt path, something the team found difficult to explain as an accident. Doug Bishop, lead investigator with AWP, publicly stated that the scene reeked of foul play. But other experts strongly disagreed. Search and recovery specialist Tammy Waters explained a phenomenon known as chasing the air. When a vehicle enters water, the heavy engine causes the front end to sink first. Air pockets often form in the rear. In panic, victims instinctively move toward the back. According to Waters, 90% of submerged vehicle victims are found in the rear. She criticized AWP's public comments, calling them irresponsible and emotionally damaging to families. 2 interpretations, 2 narratives, 1 tragic truth, still unclear. Law enforcement has remained cautious. They emphasized that underwater searches are difficult, that sonar images can be missed, and that conclusions should wait for autopsy and toxicology reports. The investigation remains officially open. No arrests have been made, no charges filed, no definitive ruling on foul play. Keely Rodney was found, but the how and the why remain unanswered. Was it a devastating accident amplified by alcohol and darkness? Or did someone else leave Prosser Reservoir that night carrying a secret? Some mysteries don't end when the body is found. They linger, they divide, and they haunt everyone left behind. Keely told her mother she'd be home in 45 minutes. 16 days later, she was found beneath the surface of a lake she had driven past countless times. The water is calm now, but beneath it, the truth may still be waiting. Keely Rodney was found, but what happened to her that night remains unanswered. A single text, a quiet drive, and a stretch of darkness where time seems to disappear. Some believe the answers lie in tragedy. Others believe they lie with someone who has yet to speak. Prosser Reservoir looks peaceful now. Calm water, still trees, no sign of what lies beneath. But silence doesn't mean clarity. If this story stayed with you, consider subscribing. New cases, new questions, and stories that deserve to be remembered are coming. Because until the truth surfaces, this case is not truly over.